Hello, good evening, and welcome to another wonderful episode of the Wonderful New Moms Community Class. Today we'll be talking about health problems in pregnancy. Yes, side effects, complications, and common questions that usually arise during pregnancy. Formerly, we've talked about infertility, we've talked about people trying to conceive, we've talked about pregnancy itself, and the overview of it from first trimester to the third trimester. We've talked about breastfeeding, and we've also talked about the last episode, prenatal care and prenatal tests. But today we'll be bringing it to more common things that occur during pregnancy. Like I mentioned, side effects, complications, and common questions in pregnancy. It might not be easy to be able to identify what a side effect is as compared to a complication, because a complication is more serious. Or what question, just worry, want to know, is it something you shouldn't worry about, or is it something you should be worried about? Actually, during pregnancy, a lot of things goes through a woman's body. She goes through a lot of changes, and this has an impact on all her organs and her systems. So it is not a cause for surprise when little pregnancy problems occur in pregnancy. It's actually very common amongst women, but at the same time, you need to try and identify which is a less serious problem and which is a more serious problem that might need attention, so that it will not be of harm to you and to your baby. That is why we will be talking a lot more about this. So what are some of these problems that could occur in pregnancy? We'll just highlight them and select the one we'll be talking about from time to time until we are able to cover it. And if you have any questions apart from the one we're talking about at the moment, please feel free to ask about it, so that we'll be able to attend to you at that moment and even use that as a basis for what would be our next discussion in the New Moms Community Class. So some of the problems that might occur during pregnancy include morning sickness. In fact, pregnancy sickness is the right word to use, and it could lead to a complication called hyperemesis gravidarum. It doesn't occur in everybody. There could be swelling in the legs, in the ankles, there could be weight gain, there could be aching joints, stretch marks, constipation, tiredness, sore breast, leaking breast, heartburn, bleeding gums, a lot of things like that. And sometimes even more complicated words like oligohydramnios or polyhydramnios, or gestational diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension, or preeclampsia. These are actually some of the complications that could result. So you see, there's a lot, and it's hard to identify which is less severe, which is less serious, and which is more severe that needs a lot of attention. But we are not mentioning all these words to scare you. Please don't be scared. Don't look at the list as quite a lot. I've mentioned like how many conditions at the same time. Most of these problems only last for a certain period of time in pregnancy, and it's good for you to know that there are remedies for a lot of these problems that could help you, that could relieve you to deal with them. So you should not be worried, and remember that what you are facing today, now that you're pregnant, is what almost all women have faced before you, and we even still face after you when they are pregnant. So don't feel scared about it. But when you have any questions, any worries, let it out. Let others know about it. Talk to your healthcare provider, talk to your nurse, talk to your midwife, call one doctor, let us know about it. Don't be embarrassed to talk about any side effect, any complication, any question you have about your pregnancy. Even if you don't feel it is related, just want to ask about it. Ask about it. Let me tell you one thing, healthcare professionals, we are in the health sector. That is what we do every day, every time. Most likely we would have seen worst case scenarios than the one you are about to mention. So don't feel bad to talk about it. We'll be willing to listen to you, and we'll be willing to offer remedies, treatments, or anything necessary that is going to relieve you of it. So like I said, some of these problems can easily be solved. Some might need more close monitoring, management, or something to attack whatever it is once you are diagnosed of it. So after that, you'll be fine. But other complications can be more serious than that. That's the reason why you need to always ask once you have anything worrying you about your health, especially when you are pregnant, because you're carrying not just one person but two, you and your baby, and you would not want anything to harm you or your baby. So feel free to read our articles, to watch our videos, ask for advice, call us, talk to us on WhatsApp, talk to us on any of our social media platforms. We'll be happy to help you enjoy your pregnancy and we'll be happy to help you manage them. So one of the most common problems that occurs in pregnancy, like I mentioned before, let's select the first one amongst them all. So we leave the others that are looking like they're daunting and they're so scary. Pregnancy sickness. I don't want to call it morning sickness because it doesn't only occur in the morning, and we are going to talk about it from head to toe this afternoon. So you're pregnant and you, about 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks after that, you notice you feel sick, you feel nauseous, you want to throw up, you want to vomit, you're not able to do so many things. This is simply pregnancy sickness. This is the most well-known symptom that occurs in pregnancy, in early pregnancy to be specific. Most likely in your first trimester. It usually occurs in the first trimester, and after that it usually whiles away. Like I said, most likely. We are going to discuss more about it, why I'm using that word, most likely. Why does it occur? Pregnancy sickness or nausea and vomiting during pregnancy occurs due to the excess or the production of the hormone called human chorionic gonadotrophin. Please don't bother yourself about the big word. Simply put, HCG. When this circulates around your body, because of the effect of pregnancy on you, it could lead to changes that causes pregnancy sickness. And apart from this, other things attached to it apart from is that you might be feeling like there's a change to your sense of taste or to your sense of smell. So some things that you might be eating before, or normal environments to you, or normal food and everything makes you feel sick. And this is also because of the higher levels of progesterone hormone in your body. This could make your blood pressure to reduce, to fall. It makes your muscles and everything relax, and you might be feeling like vomiting. And like I mentioned, your muscles, including your stomach muscles, might be relaxed. And when this occurs, your body produces more acid in the stomach. So this slows down digestion such that when you eat, the food will not digest before you start feeling like you want to throw up. That is actually what occurs. And there is also higher levels of estrogen. The female hormone is higher, and this makes it harder for your liver to break down food even after digestion has occurred in your stomach to other places. Now for the liver to act on it makes it harder. So these are like the contributing changes or dynamics that happens in your body during early pregnancy that makes you feel nauseous. So you might be wondering, like people call it morning sickness. Does it occur only in the morning? You just feel sick only in the morning? Actually, it can happen any time of the day, morning, afternoon, or night, sometimes for even the whole day. So actually using that name morning sickness is misleading. That is why I called it pregnancy sickness. It is occurring due to the changes which pregnancy is causing on you. Does everyone get pregnancy sickness? Actually, not everybody gets pregnancy sickness, but most women, in fact, according to statistics, 8 out of 10 pregnant women will feel sick at some point, and half will throw up at least once. So you see, you're not alone. This is something that's quite rampant. Even in Nigerian movies, this is like always the first thing someone sees when you are seeing somebody is pregnant, the first thing they show us is the person is going to throw up. It's actually common, and that is why this is usually used like that. What else could make it more serious? If you are expecting multiple babies, 2 or more pregnancies, twins, triplets, quadruplets, because of the number of fetuses in your uterus, the pregnancy hormones released is higher than normal than if it was just one child. So the symptom of nausea and vomiting might be more severe than if it was just one fetus, if it was just a single pregnancy. So if you're actually pregnant, carrying twins or triplets, and you have this more, don't be too worried about it, because it is because of the increase of the hormones to meet up with the what your body has to do to support the growth of the babies. And how long will pregnancy sickness last? Like I said before, it usually occurs in the first trimester. So it's usually the levels of, and this is because the levels of the HCG hormone, human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, is highest during the first 3 months of pregnancy. So most times, by the time you're getting to 12 to 14 weeks of pregnancy, it should be getting better. It should be reducing. You should be feeling less nauseous. You should be having less cases of vomiting and all. But sometimes, it might occur all through pregnancy. But this is rare. This is actually rare. Most of it reduces after the first trimester of pregnancy, so that by the time you're entering into the second trimester, you feel better, you're more active, not feeling sick, weak, or tired, and you can eat anything you want to eat in the house. So what can you do about it? Because it makes you feel awful and all. What can you do to ease the symptoms? What can you do to reduce it? Let's highlight 1 or 2 points for you to take note of. Eat little and eat more often. Yes, small and frequent meals, or some snacks that you can take. Nuts, tea, rich one for that matter, biscuit, ginger biscuit, fruits, vegetables that you like, that your body can still take. Take them all. Eat as much as you want. Just make sure it's healthy and it's balanced. Like you eat adequate diets from different foods, various foods available to you. So just make sure that your tummy is not empty, and you do not allow your blood sugar level to drop because you're not eating. So try as much as possible to still eat, even if it's little by little. Make it often. Don't force yourself to eat so much, because if you do that, you end up throwing up everything and nothing is going to stay in your tummy at the end of the day. What else can you do? Try eating something bland, something that doesn't have too much taste or flavor or anything. It's there. You can take dry toast, you can take biscuits, cracker biscuits, not too tasty, something that doesn't have any smell or taste that could be so choky or anything that wouldn't make you want to throw up. Yes, you can take that. We have herbal tea like ginger tea. You can add ginger to your tea to make you want to take it more, or peppermint, or something that just has a different taste that you can take and that wouldn't make you want to throw up. And some people say you should take fresh lemon. You can try it, but make sure it's not too much, like just half, maybe to sniff it, taking the flavor, to not make you want to throw up anymore after that. And don't forget to take a lot of water. When I mean a lot, not like I said before, small frequent meals, as little as you can take. I actually know a lot of pregnant women, once they are pregnant like this, you see them tell you give me water, and they're taking very little. No matter how little the water is, they will never finish it, but just keep taking it the little way you can, like that. Ensure you do not become dehydrated. Take water, little you can take, as frequent, as often as possible. Not necessarily for you to gulp in 1 or 2 sachets of pure water or a whole bottle of water all at once. No, so that if you take in too much, you'll be forced to throw them all at once. Another thing you can do is to brush regularly. You know, the taste of toothpaste in the mouth sometimes, if somebody is feeling somehow, once you have the taste of toothpaste in your mouth, it can reduce that feeling of wanting to throw up, or that feeling of saliva being compacted in your mouth. So you can try that. Once you're feeling like vomiting, maybe you brushed the morning before and it's midday, please go and brush again. Take a little toothpaste, it's in the house, and it might relieve you. So if you do that maybe once or twice a day, it's going to help. You can also go for a walk once you're feeling like throwing up, or once you're feeling nauseous and everywhere is looking choky. Go for a walk. Take fresh air, deep breaths of fresh air around you. Change your environment, walk around. By the time you go and you come back, it might lessen. And at the same time, when you're taking the walk, don't walk too fast so that you do not feel like you cannot breathe easily, so that you won't feel weak. And avoid staying in an environment that is too hot or choky. So once you're able to do all this, it would help. What else can you do? You can try to, maybe if you have ice cubes around you, just take a little and kind of like suck on it. This would help relieve nausea. Like just put a little ice block on your mouth when you're feeling like throwing up. That can help you better. And try, like I said, not to be in an environment that stresses you out, not in an environment that is too hot or that is too choky, that everywhere is just looking jam-packed. Don't stay in such environment, because they could make you weak, and they could make you to now start having sensations of smelling one person's body odor or the other, and before you know it, you feel like throwing up. So there is also something called traveling wristbands, acupuncture wristbands. You can check them out in shopping malls around you. If you can get that, it usually helps reduce travel sickness or vomiting when someone is traveling. So at the same time, when you're trying to go out, maybe to work, to office, you can take this, just place it correctly, follow the instructions on the pack, and use it well. So should you be worried about pregnancy sickness? From all what we've highlighted, it's actually not something you should be overly worried about, because just make sure that you try to eat, try as frequent as possible, take water so you're not dehydrated, so your body has something that it can use for the whole day. But if you can't eat, you can't drink, you are losing weight, and if this occurs continuously for more than once a day for about maybe a week or more than a week, it could start making you start feeling dehydrated, and this could lead to an excessive form of pregnancy sickness called hyperemesis gravidarum. Hyper, over stimulation, over feeling of nausea and vomiting. So this particular type is not something you can manage on your own. You need medical treatment, because it could be making you to start feeling dehydrated, it could be making you weak, and it could have traumatic effects on you. So really, you should not worry about the effects of pregnancy sickness if it is mild, and you should not worry. You might be thinking, would it affect my baby? Actually, it wouldn't. The baby is going to take in all the nutrients he or she needs to develop normally. So don't be worried about it affecting your baby. Your baby should be doing fine. And remember that the fact that you are feeling nauseous, if it is in a mild sense, shows that there is enough production of pregnancy hormones in your body, and your pregnancy is strong. So don't be worried about it. But like we said, it's not everybody that has pregnancy sickness. So just remember that after the first trimester, it is going to get better. Yes, it will reduce. It will reduce after the first trimester. But what if it's become so excessive to the point that it's becoming too long, or you're feeling so dehydrated, you're feeling very weak, and maybe you actually even pass out? This might be a case of hyperemesis gravidarum. This might be a case of excessive pregnancy sickness. What causes this? Like we said, it's the same pregnancy hormones. Overproduction of them could cause this, but most times it should reduce between after the first trimester. But in some cases, it lasts throughout the whole pregnancy, and at this severe form, you might lose weight because you're vomiting excessively. You're finding it very hard to take in anything. You might lose weight. You you might feel dehydrated, and you might even need to be placed on treatment for that. But at the same time, be assured that the baby growing inside of you is fine. The baby is going to get all the nutrients that they need. The only thing is the mom who is not able to take in food enough that could be affected. So what can you do to ease the symptoms that you feel during this time? It's still almost the same things we've talked about before. Increase your fluid intake, drink as frequent as you can, and take food as frequent as you can. But if you are having signs like your urine is looking dark and it is small amounts of urine and dark colored urine, that actually means you are dehydrated. So you need to be treated. You need medical assistance for that because it's becoming serious. You might be placed on fluid. They might put drip. Drip is just like water, sterile water, clean, sterile. So this would help to pass through your system so that at the point when you can't take in food, that would help to make sure that you're not dehydrated. So that is some of the things you can do. And we know it can actually be very hard to deal with this. You are happy you're pregnant today when you got the news or when you used the test strip to check for it, and the next few weeks you're feeling so cranky everywhere. It can be worrisome, and it can be somehow rough, and you're not feeling like you even enjoy the pregnancy at the end of the day. But don't worry, it will ease away. And if you have other children apart from the one that you have at that moment, what should you do? Try to get help from others, because having to take care of all the other children you have while you are having all these symptoms, having to work, cook, clean, still go to work, take them to school and everything, it can be really hard. So tell your husband, tell your partner, tell the person that stays with you to assist you. Get family and friends to be of help, to ease you of the burden you're feeling. Do not be afraid to ask for help, because this is the time when you need them the most to be of assistance to you. And apart from having symptoms of having your urine looking dark colored or very small, if you feel like you're having pain anywhere that you cannot bear, fever, your temperature is spiking, or headaches, or like you're not seeing properly, visual disturbances, or you're bleeding while pregnant, along with this nausea and vomiting, in fact with or without nausea and vomiting, please go to the hospital, see your healthcare professional, call one doctor. Let us help you attend to it. Let us direct you to the closest hospital to you so that you'll be able to find the best solution to it, because this could be related to other conditions. So if you have anything attached to what I mentioned, pain, fever, headaches, visual disturbances, or bleeding, with or without nausea and vomiting, with or without the pregnancy sickness we've talked about now, please call us, go to the hospital, or let us refer you to the best hospital to use within your own environment. So this is where we are going to stop for today. Next time we are going to talk about another health problem that occurs during pregnancy. Should I mention it now? Okay, let's keep that for now as suspense. so what most likely we'll be talking about is another common health problem that women usually complain about when they are pregnant: weight gain. That they are beginning to gain weight, or they are not gaining enough weight. How can we balance it out? That is what we'll talk about. So I hope you found this particular episode very interesting, and like we all usually do, feel free to comment, feel free to like, feel free to share with family and friends. Let your husband watch it so that he will learn that he has to assist you in the house. Yes, it's one doctor that is saying it. Let them assist you when you are pregnant. Yes, don't stress yourself too much, because a lot of changes are actually occurring in your body. Let family and friends be of assistance. This is where you need them the most. And let one doctor also be of assistance to you. Call us when you need anything. Call us. We are here for you and you are here for us. So this is where we say bye-bye till another wonderful episode of the One Talk Italian Moms Community Class. Thank you.